Hi, I'm Sue Ellam and I'm a tarot reader and have been for 25 years. I'm using the Mythic Tarot, which is based on Greek mythology.
And I'm learning to love them. I'm Carrie Beleno. I am an intuitive Reiki master teacher and a spiritual life coach. And I add my guidance and my intuitive guidance on the tail end of Sue's card reading. So I've got the questions that we are attempting to give some practical advice for. So it's so funny that I got this question because we just had a very long discussion on this topic. What does illumination or enlightenment look like?
Oh.
There are no coincidences.
No, absolutely not. Let's see if there's another spin on it. You're right, there's nothing, no such thing as coincidences. Okay, well, it's interesting. It's kind of a, All right. We have here keeping our emotions out of things. Because when we're looking at illumination and enlightenment, and we're trying to come from a space of the head, of kind of using well-balanced thought in judgment and not letting the emotions get tangled up in it. So this is, I suppose it's saying we've got to, is something that obviously comes from our soul and comes from our spirit and our spirituality. That's how we get to it. But we have got to keep our head engaged and not, I suppose it goes back to the question about intuition and emotion quite a bit as well. So when we have very strong emotions about something, we can't truly have enlightenment or illumination because we're putting our emotional spin on it. So we get the answers. We accept the answers we want to hear, but we won't accept it if it's not what we want to hear. So we have to be a pure channel, I suppose, with this. It's important not to have fear and anxiety about it as well, because I think a lot of times people are trying to get enlightenment. They're trying to, they put so much pressure on themselves, and sometimes it can be a bit of a competition if you're not careful. I'm a reader and I'm enlightened, and they're a reader and they're not as enlightened as I am, or they don't have as pure messages as I do, or you get all these kind of people getting into kind of competitions. So even in the spiritual world, it's in some ways can be equal to the corporate world, when everyone's trying to prove that they are better than the other person. And then there's fear and anxiety and, I said I'm better than them. I just hope that they don't hear about what I did last month. So it becomes such a destination that we miss the journey. And we do pick up a lot of fear along the way in case we don't get there, because we're aspiring to something. But what if I don't get there? Because I'm human, I do different things that, maybe I wouldn't want the light of day to be shone on. So we can get so mixed up with it. What we need to do is we need to stay grounded. We need to come away from the drama, not have always feel we have to have lights going off and fireworks and celebrations and always got to be doing something. This can be going on all these courses that say, oh, well, you know, you're going to, by the end of the month, you're going to be enlightened, or we'll teach you this, we'll teach you that. You know, some people I've known people who spend their life on courses, but they don't give themselves enough time to really, truly absorb the knowledge until they're on to the next thing, then the next thing. So you can't get any enlightenment by constantly bouncing along on the surface of all these things. You've got to give yourself time to be grounded, just be in nature, kind of listen to your inner voice and come away from the drama and the people who are creating drama in your life. You've got to get to a point of being like a pure vessel rather than an emotional, I've got to do this because, you know, it's more than my you know, it's more than my worth if I don't. And this, I think, applies a lot also to people that work in the spiritual world as well, because for them it's about kind of earning money, earning your making a living, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because we're living in it's all about energy exchange. It can be an exchange of, you know, I'll give you a reading, you give me a crystal, or it can be I'll give you a reading and you pay me cash, or it doesn't have to be all about money. But I think when people are working in a spiritual way, and that's how they make their living, there is this is where this fear and anxiety can come into. And I've seen it some years ago when I did the festivals. You had to pay so much money just to be at the festival that really you could see people panicking. How am I going to get my money back? I expended so much. So then it kind of brings in the fear and anxiety, which gets in the way of being enlightened. It's living in this world, I suppose, on this planet in the way we're doing it currently. The best thing to do is not tell anybody that you're looking to get enlightened. Just don't mention it, you know, because when you're enlightened, when you've got wisdom, people are going to know. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to have a banner over your head, you know, enlightened being, you know. You will learn, because you'll be inquisitive, you're wanting to know what everything means. It's new ideas, new things, but keep your own counsel. You know, don't tell people what you're doing. People don't need to know. If you have an energy, or if you have an energy that people feel are enlightened, or you have a wisdom, they're going to be drawn to you anyway. You don't need to advertise it. You don't have to come to me, I'm special, or anything like that, because people will be drawn to you. They'll find, you know, they see you, then they'll tell somebody else about you. Oh, that person really helped me. And then, you know, maybe that person will come, maybe they won't. But it's not about you promoting yourself. Let other people promote you. So that is enlightenment. We do it every day, don't we? Really, you know, you learn, if you're open, you learn something new every day, or learn that something you thought was true maybe wasn't, and so you can move on from there. It's a continuing journey. It's not a destination. It is the journey, and I don't think we're ever truly there, because that's what we're here down here for. You know, probably your last breath, you're still learning something new. But here it's about small rewards for efforts you're making. but there's still a lot of hard work ahead. It's just a constant journey. So I don't see it as getting an enlightenment badge at a certain age or at a certain thing. It's a continuing journey. Just take the fear out of it. Take the worry that, the things you've done in the past will mean that you'll never get there. We've all done things where, we wish we hadn't, or wish we'd done in a different way, or had things done to us. It's about not living in those moments, learning from them. I will never do that again. I didn't know better then. Now I do. It's a constant journey. Just keep away from drama, keep away from dramatic people. Don't tell people all your business. And, just keep working at it.
So I concur with everything. I just want to kind of summarize some of the really important points that I would share with my clients. Illumination and enlightenment is not a destination. It is not something that we should be waiting for. So those of you who are workers in the light or healers or wherever you're watching this, it is not an event that's going to occur. We are not sitting around and waiting for the enlightenment switch to be flipped. This is a process, and it is something that is happening to all of us in any given moment. So know that it's already happening to you. You are already experiencing it. If you don't feel you are, then it's time to quiet down. It's time to tune into it. It's time to listen to that intuition. So if you need to go back and watch some of our videos about following your intuition or life purpose, those will help you settle into perhaps your intuition and tapping in. But it isn't, it's not a place we're going, and it's not a thing that's going to happen to us. By the same token, the dimensions that we're talking about, like if you're into this this chatter around the fifth dimension or the fourth dimension, and these dimensions that they're talking about are also not places. They are states of being within us. We already have them all. We aren't waiting to arrive to the fifth dimension. We aren't waiting to arrive to the fourth dimension. They are all states of love, states of unity, states of peace within us. If you want more information about that, or you need some coaching on that, please let me know, because I do help people with that. But I want to encourage you not to watch the news, to watch your social media feeds, because they breed fear and they trigger the ego in egomaniacal ways that are not intuitive, that will do what Sue said and kind of disconnect us from our intuition and disconnect us from the enlightenment that we are. Think of it as an inner light. We all have it. You wouldn't be alive on earth if you didn't have the inner light. It's our soul. So really, this is just a communication between your soul and your physical self. And every time it happens, you are enlightened. So pat yourself on the back for how many times you've listened to your intuition, heard it, and or followed it, had super success with it. That is all enlightenment. And what this is going to do, the process, is just tapping into it more and more and more frequently, so that we are led by our light and not led by our physicalness. So,
yeah, that's about it. That's all from me.
And like, share, and subscribe to one or both of our channels, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you. Bye.